When Mat Armstrong arrived in Miami to inspect the damaged Bugatti for the first time, he already knew the project would be difficult. The car was one of the most expensive and complicated hypercars ever built. Repairing it was never going to be simple. But what Matt discovered shocked even him. The issue was not only the damage on the car. The bigger problem was Bugatti itself. According to the story surrounding the project, the company had locked the vehicle's VIN number, meaning official Bugatti dealers around the world would not sell parts connected to that car. Suddenly, the repair project became far bigger than fixing a damaged hypercar. It turned into a fight between a YouTube mechanic and one of the most powerful luxury car brands in the world. Millions of people quickly became interested because the story felt unfair to many viewers. The owner of the Bugatti had legally purchased the car at auction for nearly $2 million, yet it seemed like the manufacturer still wanted control over what happened to it. The situation created a huge debate online about ownership repairs and how much power companies should have after selling a product. Mat Armstrong's audience saw him, as the underdog, trying to prove that skill and determination could beat corporate restrictions. Every new video added more drama and more curiosity. Viewers want to know if the car could ever drive again. They also want to know whether Bugatti would eventually give in or continue blocking the rebuild. What started as a repair series quickly became one of the biggest automotive stories on YouTube, and the pressure surrounding the project grew larger with every upload. 80% of the controversy was a damaged Bugatti Chiron Supersport owned by Alex Gonzalez. The car had suffered major crash damage before being sold at auction. Many people believed the vehicle was beyond saving. Bugatti reportedly estimated that repairs would cost an enormous amount of money, and the process would need to happen through official factory channels. For most owners, that would probably be the end of the story. But Alex wanted the car repaired outside the factory system, and Mat Armstrong agreed to take on the challenge. Very quickly, the team discovered just how difficult the rebuild would become. The transmission mounts were badly damaged, important components were cracked, and many parts could not be sourced through normal methods because of the blacklisted VIN. This situation created massive tension online, because viewers started asking an important question. If someone legally owns a car, should the manufacturer still control who can repair it? The story became larger than Bugatti alone. People compared it to phones, laptops, and tractors that manufacturers sometimes restrict from independent repair shops. The right to repair discussion suddenly entered the world of hypercars. Mat Armstrong's videos were especially effective because he explained problems in simple language that ordinary viewers could understand. Instead of making the story feel technical and complicated, he made it emotional and personal. He showed frustrations, setbacks, and small victories in every episode. That style helped viewers feel connected to the project. Even people who did not care about expensive cars became interested because the story represented something bigger. It became about freedom, ownership, and proving that a determined garage team could challenge a billion-dollar company. As the videos gained millions of views, the public conversation became impossible to ignore. Online comments exploded with criticism aimed at Bugatti. Many viewers believed the company was trying to stop independent repairs simply to protect its image and maintain complete control over the brand. Others defended Bugatti and argued that repairing a hypercar incorrectly could create major safety risks. After all, the Chiron is capable of incredible speeds and uses extremely advanced engineering. Bugatti likely did not want a rebuilt vehicle causing accidents that could damage the company's reputation. Still, the internet largely sided with Mat Armstrong because he appeared calm, honest, and determined throughout the process. The project felt like a classic underdog story. One side had massive corporate resources, while the other had a workshop full of tools, creative thinking, and millions of supportive viewers. Then the story became even bigger when mate Rimac entered the conversation publicly. Rimac was already famous in the automotive world as the founder of Rimac Automobili and the leader of the Bugatti-Rimac partnership. Unlike many corporate executives, he had a modern and approachable public image. He often posted online, talked directly with fans, and presented himself as a hands-on engineer instead of a distant businessman. That made his response especially surprising. In early 2026, Rimac released a video addressing the controversy. He explained Bugatti's side of the situation and offered to reduce repair costs if the car were sent to the factory for repairs. Many people saw this as an important moment because it showed the pressure from social media was working. A story that began in a Miami workshop had become large enough to force one of the world's most famous car companies to publicly respond. Even after Bugatti's public response, Mat Armstrong and his team decided to continue to rebuild in Miami. That decision became one of the most fascinating parts of the entire story because viewers got to watch the team solve impossible problems one after another. Without access to official Bugatti parts, the workshop had to become extremely creative. Damaged pieces were scanned into computers and recreated using custom machining. Broken components were welded back together carefully. Custom replacement parts were designed from scratch. One of the most talked about moments involved the transmission mount, which many people believed could never be repaired safely. Mat's team TIG welded the damaged mount and continued testing the setup. Another surprising detail involved airbags sourced from an Audi A3, which shocked viewers because they were being used inside a multi-million-dollar Bugatti. The custom exhaust system also became a major talking point because it reportedly sounded louder and more aggressive than the factory version. These moments helped the series feel exciting instead of repetitive. Every episode introduced a new challenge and a new solution. Viewers kept returning because they wanted to see whether the project would fail or succeed. Mat Armstrong also benefited from his natural presentation style. He did not sound overly corporate or scripted. He explained technical issues in a relaxed and understandable way that made viewers feel like they were inside the workshop with him. That personal connection was extremely important for the success of the series. While luxury car companies often communicate through polished advertisements and official statements, Mat's videos felt raw and real. Audiences trusted him because they could see the work happening directly in front of the camera. In the modern internet era, authenticity often matters more than perfection, and this project became one of the strongest examples of that reality. Eventually, the pressure surrounding the rebuild reached a turning point. After months of online attention and growing public debate, Bugatti reportedly relaxed its restrictions surrounding the vehicle. The blacklist on parts was lifted, and the company appeared more willing to support the rebuild. For Mat Armstrong supporters, this moment felt like a major victory. The giant manufacturer had seemingly stepped back after realizing the public relations damage was becoming too large to ignore. One line from the story stood out strongly to viewers. Bugatti blinked. That phrase spread across social media because it perfectly described the emotional feeling many fans had at that moment. The rebuild then entered its most satisfying stage. The car started running again. After endless setbacks, failed parts, and online arguments, the Bugatti Chiron was alive once more. Watching the damaged Hypercar move under its own power created one of the biggest payoff moments in automotive YouTube content. Millions of viewers felt emotionally invested because they had followed the struggle from the beginning. At the same time, the story sparked even larger discussions about the future of vehicle ownership. Modern cars are increasingly controlled by software, electronic systems, and manufacturer restrictions. Many people worry that companies may continue limiting what owners can repair or modify themselves. The Bugatti controversy became symbolic of those fears. It was no longer only about one expensive hypercar. It represented a larger battle between consumers and corporations. The series showed how social media could influence public opinion and force large companies to react. Years ago, a story like this might have remained inside small automotive circles. Instead, YouTube turned it into an international debate watched by millions of people around the world. Then came the part of the story that created the most speculation online. In February 2026, announcements revealed leadership changes within Rimac Technology. A new CEO would take over day-to-day operations while mate Rimac shifted focus toward other responsibilities inside the broader company structure. Officially, the company described the move as part of long-term strategic planning and future growth. On paper, the business was performing extremely well. Rimac Technology had reportedly delivered large numbers of battery systems and powertrain components to major automotive companies, including Porsche, BMW, and Hyundai. The company also spoke about future projects and expansion plans through 2030. However, internet audiences immediately connected the timing of the leadership change with the Bugatti controversy surrounding Mat Armstrong's rebuild. Many viewers believed the public relations damage from the situation had become too large and had influenced internal decisions. Importantly, No direct evidence proved that the controversy caused leadership changes. Even the script itself carefully avoided making a definite accusation. Still, the timing fueled endless online discussion because the rebuild story had generated huge public attention and criticism toward Bugatti's handling of the situation. YouTube channels, automotive forums, and social media accounts all debated the same question. Was the leadership change simply normal corporate restructuring, or was it connected to the growing backlash? The uncertainty actually helped the story spread even further. People love mysteries and unanswered questions, especially when they involve luxury brands and powerful executives. Whether true or not, the speculation added another dramatic layer to an already massive internet story. It also demonstrated how influential online creators have become in modern media. A YouTube mechanic filming inside a garage was now part of a conversation involving billion-dollar companies, and global automotive leadership point one reason this story became so successful online is because it touched on emotional themes that many people understand immediately. Most viewers will never own a Bugatti, but almost everyone has experienced frustration with large companies controlling products after purchase. Phones become difficult to repair, software becomes locked behind subscriptions, and manufacturers sometimes make independent repairs more expensive than replacements. The Mat Armstrong rebuild tapped directly into those feelings. Viewers did not only see a damaged hypercar being repaired, they saw a challenge against corporate control and exclusivity. The series also highlighted the growing power of independent creators in the digital age. Traditional companies once controlled public narratives through advertisements and official media coverage. Today, a single YouTube creator with a camera can influence millions of people and create enormous pressure on major brands. Mat Armstrong's project proved that audiences often trust authentic creators more than polished corporate messaging. The rebuild also celebrated creativity and engineering problem-solving. Instead of giving up when official support disappeared, the workshop found alternative solutions using scanning technology, welding, machining, and custom fabrication. That spirit of innovation inspired viewers because it showed how determination can overcome barriers that initially seem impossible. At the same time, the controversy served as a warning for luxury brands. Modern audiences expect transparency, communication, and fairness. If companies appear overly controlling or disconnected from consumers, social media can quickly damage their reputation. The internet allows public opinion to spread faster than ever before. A single repair project in Miami became a worldwide debate involving ownership rights, corporate power, engineering, and freedom. That combination of drama, emotion, and larger meaning is exactly why the story captured so much attention. In the end, the Bugatti rebuild saga became far more than another automotive YouTube series. It transformed into one of the clearest examples of how internet culture is changing the relationship between companies and consumers. Mat Armstrong did not simply repair a crashed hypercar. He created a story that millions of people emotionally connected with. The project combined luxury cars, engineering challenges, corporate controversy, and personal determination into a narrative that felt exciting from beginning to end. Every episode gave viewers another reason to return, whether it was a dramatic setback, a creative repair solution, or a new response from Bugatti itself. The emotional structure of the series was especially powerful because it constantly framed the situation as a battle between ordinary people and a giant corporation. That type of storytelling naturally attracts online audiences because viewers enjoy supporting underdogs. The rebuild also raised serious questions that the automotive industry may continue facing in the future. Should manufacturers have the power to control repairs after selling a vehicle? Where should the line between safety concerns and corporate control be drawn? And how much influence can internet creators have over billion-dollar brands? These questions will likely remain important as vehicles become even more dependent on software and proprietary systems. Regardless of where people stand on the debate, one fact is impossible to ignore. The Mat Armstrong Bugatti project became one of the most talked about automotive stories on the internet because it felt real, emotional, and unpredictable. It proved that a workshop camera and a determined team could challenge the image of one of the world's most famous luxury manufacturers. In today's digital world, that kind of story spreads faster and farther than any traditional advertising campaign ever could. Another major reason the story connected so strongly with viewers was the emotional personality of Mat Armstrong himself. Throughout the rebuild, he came across as calm, hardworking, and genuinely passionate about solving problems. He did not present himself as a perfect expert who always had the answers. Instead, audiences watched him struggle, rethink ideas, and slowly figure things out step by step. That style made viewers trust him more. In many modern YouTube projects, creators often try too hard to look rich, powerful, or untouchable. Mat's videos felt different because they focused more on the process than the image. Even when mistakes happened, the camera kept rolling. That honesty helped the audience feel emotionally connected to the rebuild. People were not only watching a Bugatti repair, they were watching human determination in real time. Every challenge created suspense because viewers understood how difficult the situation really was. One failed repair could have ended the project completely. The risk made every small success feel exciting. At the same time, the series also revealed how much audiences enjoy behind-the-scenes engineering content when it is explained in a simple and entertaining way. Mat Armstrong managed to make complex automotive repairs understandable for ordinary viewers who may know very little about hypercars. That ability is extremely valuable on YouTube because the platform rewards creators who can turn complicated subjects into emotional stories. The Bugatti rebuild became proof that technical content does not need to feel boring or confusing. With the right storytelling, even welding damaged transmission mounts can feel dramatic and important. The role of social media in the controversy cannot be ignored either. Years ago, companies could control public conversations much more easily. If a dispute happened between a manufacturer and a customer, the story usually stayed small. Today, however, creators have direct access to massive audiences across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and other platforms. Every update from Mat Armstrong reached millions of people almost instantly. Clips from the rebuild spread across short-form video platforms where viewers reacted emotionally to each new development. This constant attention increased the pressure on Bugatti because public opinion was moving quickly against the company. Even people who had never watched Mat Armstrong before became aware of the story through viral clips and discussions online. Social media also amplified the emotional side of the situation. When viewers saw a damaged multi-million-dollar hypercar slowly coming back to life inside a workshop, they naturally became invested in the outcome. Many people enjoy stories where creativity defeats limitations, and the internet helped transform the rebuild into exactly that kind of narrative. Companies today must understand that audiences are no longer passive consumers. People discuss, criticize, analyze, and spread opinions instantly online. One controversial decision can become global news within hours. The Bugatti rebuild demonstrated how powerful audience perception has become in the digital age. Even luxury brands with enormous reputations are not protected from criticism if enough people believe something is unfair. The internet gives ordinary viewers a voice, and in this case, millions of those voices supported the builder instead of the manufacturer. At the same time, some automotive experts argue that the situation was more complicated than many viewers realized. Hypercars like the Bugatti Chiron are not normal vehicles. They are engineered to extremely high standards because of their incredible speed and power. Small mistakes during repairs could potentially create serious safety risks. Some people believe Bugatti's strict approach was not only about money or brand control, but also about legal responsibility. If a rebuilt car failed at high speed, the consequences could be catastrophic. This side of the debate is important because it explains why some manufacturers are very protective of their technology and repair processes. Luxury brands spend years developing safety systems, crash structures, and performance testing. They do not want unofficial repairs damaging their reputation or creating dangerous situations. However, critics argue that Bugatti's response still appeared too aggressive, especially because the owner legally purchased a vehicle. Many viewers felt there should have been a middle ground where independent repairs could happen with some level of cooperation instead of complete restriction. This disagreement between safety concerns and ownership rights became one of the central themes of the entire controversy. It also reflected larger debates happening across many industries today. As products become more advanced and dependent on software, companies increasingly try to control repairs, modifications, and replacement parts. Consumers, meanwhile, continue demanding more freedom over products they own. The The Mat Armstrong rebuild became a perfect example of this growing conflict between corporate control and individual ownership. That is one reason the story spread far beyond automotive communities and attracted attention from people interested in technology, business, and consumer rights as well. Another interesting part of the story was how quickly public opinion turned into entertainment. The rebuild was not only educational or informative, it became dramatic weekly content that viewers looked forward to watching. Every episode ended with uncertainty, which made audiences return for the next upload. One week the team would discover severe damage hidden inside the car. The next week they would somehow solve a problem everyone believed was impossible. This style of storytelling is one of the biggest reasons modern YouTube creators are competing directly with traditional television. The Mat Armstrong Bugatti series had all the ingredients of a successful streaming documentary. It featured luxury cars, huge amounts of money, conflict with a major company, technical challenges, emotional setbacks, and unexpected victories. Viewers became emotionally invested because they followed the journey step by step instead of only seeing the final result. The editing style also played a major role. Dramatic music, close-up shots of damaged parts, emotional reactions from the team, and cliffhanger endings all increased viewer attention. Every upload was designed to keep audiences curious about what would happen next. That strategy worked extremely well because millions of people kept returning to follow the rebuild. It also showed how powerful storytelling has become in the automotive world. Years ago, car content on the internet mostly focused on reviews, racing, or modifications. Now creators are building long-form cinematic stories around repair projects and business controversies. Mat Armstrong understood that viewers do not only care about cars themselves. They care about tension, emotion, personality, and conflict. The Bugatti rebuild combined all of those elements into one ongoing story, making it one of the most engaging automotive series on YouTube. The project also highlighted the growing importance of independent workshops and creators in modern car culture. Traditionally, luxury manufacturers controlled nearly every part of the ownership experience. Official dealerships handle repairs, factory technicians handle maintenance, and customers rarely question the process. But internet culture has changed that relationship completely. Today, audiences admire independent builders who can solve problems outside the official system. There is something exciting about watching a small workshop challenge billion-dollar engineering departments. Mat Armstrong's rebuild represented that spirit perfectly. His team used creativity instead of unlimited budgets. They scanned parts, fabricated replacements, and experimented with solutions that large companies might never attempt publicly. Viewers admired this because it felt genuine and human. The project reminded many people that innovation often begins in garages and workshops long before corporations recognize new ideas. It also showed how much technical talent exists outside official factory networks. Many independent mechanics and builders around the world likely saw the Bugatti rebuild as proof that complex problems can still be solved without corporate approval. At the same time, the controversy may encourage manufacturers to rethink how they communicate with customers and creators online. Ignoring internet criticism no longer works the way it once did. Audiences expect responses, explanations, and transparency. When companies remain silent during controversies, viewers often assume the worst. The Bugatti situation became a lesson in modern public relations. A single YouTube series generated worldwide discussion about ownership rights, luxury branding, and repair restrictions. That level of influence would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. Now it is becoming normal in the digital world as the rebuild moved closer to completion. Excitement around the project continued growing. Fans wanted to see the final moment when the Bugatti would fully return to the road. That anticipation created enormous engagement online. Comment sections filled with predictions, arguments, and support messages. Some people believed the car would never function correctly again. Others were convinced Mat Armstrong would eventually succeed, no matter how difficult the process became.